Ever since Super Mario Bros. Became the highest grossing movie of 2023 and the most successful video game movie of all time, fans have been curious to see whether a Nintendo shared universe could happen. Today on ScreenRant, we delve through the possibilities. First and foremost, it should be noted that we don't think a traditional shared universe is the answer for Nintendo's many varied properties. After all, it's a challenge to imagine Mega Man, Samus, Donkey Kong, Link, Kirby, Mario, and Pikachu all existing in the same world and coexisting a la the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For any sort of shared universe to work, the first step would be to develop individual projects with individual worlds. Super Mario Bros. Is a great first step, and by itself opens up all sorts of possibilities with Luigi, Donkey Kong, and potential new characters like Wario for future installments in the franchise. However, we will need separate films with different worlds if we're going to develop properties like Legend of Zelda or Metroid. Luckily, there is already a second world that can be integrated into this shared universe. 2019's Detective Pikachu already introduced us to the cinematic world of Pokemon. This does, however, lead to one big problem that could defuse any attempt at a Nintendo shared cinematic universe movie.
He looks adorable!
But before we get into that, what exactly would this movie look like? Well, it's pretty obvious. It would look like Super Smash Bros., the video game franchise that pits a large majority of Nintendo characters against one another in a fighting competition. This competition is fairly light on plot, and in-game is actually meant to be an interpretation of a child literally playing with toys. As such, a cinematic version would have plenty of breathing room to make the concept its own thing.
Let's do this Pokemon battle thing right!
Now, the problem inherent with this idea is that Nintendo is not the sole company responsible for these feature films. They're partners with actual production companies. Super Mario Bros. Was produced by Illumination, itself a subsidiary of Universal Pictures. Detective Pikachu, and presumably other in-development properties based on Pokemon, was handled by Warner Bros. Meanwhile, director Wes Ball is currently at work on his adaptation of The Legend of Zelda with Sony Pictures. The chances of all these studios having contracts that even allow for a Super Smash Bros. Movie would be inconceivable, and suggest that any such film would require either healthy participation from rival businesses or a film with fewer characters than the game. Add to that, Ball has stated that his version of Zelda will be grounded and real, meaning it is unlikely to fit into a wacky world like Super Smash Bros. Point being, the chance of us getting a Nintendo shared universe movie is pretty abysmal at this point. The closest we're likely to receive is the sequel to Super Mario Bros., currently slated for 2026. What do you think? Is there any chance of this movie ever happening? Let us know in the comments, and thank you for watching ScreenRant.